Sihle Bolani needs no introduction. She is a workplace transformation specialist and author of We Are the Ones We Need, The War on Black Professionals in Corporate South Africa. She is also the host of Epilogue with Sihle Bolani. She is a table shaker, a game changer, a warrior, a phenomenon, a movement, a powerhouse. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for all of you being here tonight. Thank you to the BMF for inviting me. I'm always very, very happy to have these conversations and to discuss this topic because it's something that I'm so incredibly passionate about. I've kind of chatted briefly to a few people this evening, and most of them have said, "Oh, I can't wait to hear you talking about the book." I'm not talking about the book. But I'm talking about the subject that inspired the book. Growing up, all I knew was that one day I would work in an office in a successful company. And I would be the best at whatever line of work I was in. And I knew that I would be the best because there are a few things that I knew for sure. Number one, I'm smart as hell. Number two, I have an impeccable work ethic. I'm very conscientious and I pay attention to details. I pursue excellence and I'm always learning new things or new ways of doing things. And lastly, I'm ethical. As you can tell, I had a very, very solid plan for my career. And so it's all going to be smooth sailing, right? When I started working, I realized that there was one teeny tiny flaw with my little plan. And that's that in organizations, very few things are by the book. There were gray areas everywhere. There were mountains of dirt that were set on the runs. There was pain hidden behind brave smiles because human emotion is suddenly a weakness when you're in the workplace. This presented a very heavy internal conflict for me because what I was seeing accepted as the norm in all of the various organizations that I worked for went against everything that I believed to be good and fair and ethical and equal. The big question then became, do I assimilate to these systemic cultures, or do I buck the system and try to be an agent of change? I had no idea what being an agent of change meant, or what it looked like, or what it required. All I knew was that being a black person in corporate South Africa was a sickening experience. The exclusion from access to influential people and decision makers, the muting of our opinions and recommendations, the theft of our ideas, the underpayment, being overlooked for promotions, having goalposts continually moved when it comes to our progression, being forced to fake smiles so that we aren't labeled as aggressive or unapproachable or angry, being burdened with daily code switching, being convinced that other black professionals are our competition, and so we must always strive to be the better blacks. Having our voices muted by our bosses, by HR processes, by organizational culture, and still being held hostage by the desperation to remain in a position to be able to provide for our families. And these are just some of the challenges that we face. When you're a black woman in corporate, the challenges, the barriers, the hurdles, the traps, the list is far longer and far more treacherous. So where did it all go wrong? How did we get to the point where black professionals have to fight battles alone? Where we don't come together and amplify each other's voices and experiences? Where we don't prioritize each other's well-being? Where we no longer believe that justice for every black person is worth risking everything? One of my favorite videos that regularly pops back up on social media is of Mandela, where she's speaking about oppressors and how they must never, ever, ever relax. Because singayisusa. So, it's always very interesting to me when I see this pop up on social media and how people respond to it. Because there's always this hoo-ha, yeah! Right? But in real life, nobody's sussing a damn thing. Where did we lose that spirit as black professionals, where we just accept injustices and allow them to tear away at our peace, our joy, our strength, our confidence, and our communities? Our strength and our victories have always been owed to us fighting battles in our numbers. It's both heartbreaking and infuriating that this is what we've come to. This is who we are, stuck in the culture of every man for himself. Because we refuse to sacrifice anything to achieve equality that will benefit our children and those who come after them. Every generation has a battle to fight. When you're alone at home or when you're with your friends, do you have these conversations where you're trying to discover what that battle actually is? Or have we just decided that we just aren't about that fighting for anything life? Since having my book published, I have traveled to different places and had conversations with countless people, including social media interactions. The cries are the same. We're bullied, we're denied leave with no reasonable explanations, we're paid half, sometimes a third of what our white counterparts are earning, we're punished for speaking out against injustices, we're dismissed unfairly, we're dealing with constructive dismissal and not being able to have funds to seek legal assistance. Our cries are not echoed or validated, so we feel alone. And we're isolated or excluded so that we don't taint other well-behaved blacks. We have good legislation that falls short in implementation. So corporates really get to tap dance on our heads on a daily basis. We're humiliated. We're mocked for the brown skin we're covered in. Our kinky hair is called unprofessional. Our wigs and weeds are constantly questioned. And all our purchases are always monitored. There's a quote that I recently came across that reads, "Each time I want to fight for African rights, I use only one hand, because the other hand is busy trying to keep away Africans who are fighting me." We cannot have this conversation without discussing black complicity in the face of injustices in the workplace. Black executives, black leaders, black line managers, black organizations that are compromised because their funders are the very people who abuse black professionals. And because the rules of engagement with sponsors don't prioritize the protection and well-being of black professionals, these organizations grow inefficient and toothless over time. We have hurdles in the form of legislative implementation. We have floods of complaints about HR departments and their complicity. We have trouble supporting each other and unifying for a common purpose. We're not investing financially in organizations and in platforms that will pursue our interests and fight for our rights collectively. Afriforum is kicking our asses. And we're just struggling. And so we're stuck. Fellow black professionals reach out to us for support. We ignore their calls. We don't respond to their texts. When they bump into us, all we can muster up is, "Oh, geez, that's it." And life carries on. And in their isolation, they sink in their anxiety or depression. They develop heart conditions or suffer strokes. Or they take their own lives. And still, the cycle continues. The question that I want to leave with you tonight is this. What are you consistently doing to show up meaningfully for other Black professionals? If you aren't asking yourself that question regularly, and if you don't have an answer to that question right now, you're part of the problem. Thank you.